We're at the half here in Riverside, California, where CBU leads Portland State 34-29. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Braiden Bell, Stephen Douglas. And Stephen, you got to put your hard hat on if you're going to play in this game. Physical throughout the opening 20 minutes. But it's been Isaiah Johnson leading the way for Portland State, really keeping them in this game so far.
Yeah, I mean, blood on the basketball. That was a perfect metaphor for what we saw in the first half. Very physical, especially in the paint. A lot of fouls. Offensives haven't really started churning yet. We'll see what adjustments are made here in the halftime.
It was almost a little bit of a surprise that CBU got out to an 11-point lead because, as we've talked about a lot through this first half, a couple of really evenly matched teams, both statistically speaking and really just stylistically as well. Portland State was able to respond, but you said it in the first half, and I think it's a great point. I'd be shocked if this is a game that isn't one or two possessions by the end.
Oh, yeah, I really think this is going to be a close game, come down to the wire, or an overtime game, our first one of the season. These two teams evenly matched, and we talked about it earlier, 50-50 balls, stuff like that. It's the intensity, it's the intangibles. That's what's going to win this game for one of these two teams.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Isaiah Johnson for Portland State's been great. Meanwhile, for CBU, it's been much more distributed in terms of points so far. In fact, Ivan Wujrogo leading the way with 9 points, the big fella for CBU. So the Lancers leading it by 5 at the half, but certainly expect a close and, again, a physical second half to come. More after this. We're back. It's halftime in Riverside, California, as we welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Braiden Bell, Stephen Douglas. And Stephen, not the prettiest of offensive first halves, but there was one guy really showing out, especially for CBU. Dominic Daniels Jr. had himself a first half to remember. 16 points for CBU. He hit well over half of their field goals. He got it going from downtown, driving to the basket as well. He is completely in the zone.
Yeah, and I think it started with obviously a sluggish start, but getting into the paint, dribble penetration, opens things up for the Lancers offensively, and Daniels does what Daniels does.
So Daniels has been great, but meanwhile, Cal Poly, a team playing away from home, and again, promised last time we'll say it, third game in 3 days, but yet they're still just tied in this game. Certainly some things to work on for both teams at the half, but if you're Cal Poly, look, you're right where you want to be. It's a even score.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, you've imposed your will. You've slowed down the pace, which was one of our keys to this game for Cal Poly to be successful. Listen, if they're going to win this game, they've got to continue this pace. You don't want to get the Lancers running, especially with Tom Daniels running the offense.
Third straight year these two programs have met. We called it the rubber match, if you will. Lancers won at this building 2 years ago. Cal Poly won it in a similar style game as we're seeing tonight last year up in slow. Could that play a factor tonight? Who knows? But we're tied up at the break. CBU and Cal Poly, final game of the Lancer Joust. We've got more after this.
1 point advantage for the Mustangs. Behind the strength of Kobe Sanders. Here we go. Drake Dobbs, they'll bring it up. Yorkland, 2 seconds to shoot, and he's off the mark, and that'll do it. Cal Poly has taken game 1 of the CBU Joust. We'll take another look. Yorkland had made that shot a few times during this game and can't bury it there with time winding down. So Cal Poly moves to 2-2 on the season.